Hey guys, Claude Johnson here. All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about different ways you can use dominant chords. If you're bored with just the 1, 4, 5, you can throw in different dominant chords in a blues. And I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of music theory here, but sometimes you'll hear the phrase secondary dominance in a jazz context, which refers to the fact that usually there's only one dominant chord per diatonic scale. So when you use a different dominant chord, it's a so-called secondary dominant. It's a little different in blues because you're already dealing with 3 different dominants, like your 1, 4, 5 typically. So we can call them secondary dominants. We can call them alternate dominant chords. I'll just try to give you some ideas. So one idea, let's just start in the key of A. And just to review, your typical turnaround would be like your 5 chord E7, 4 chord D7, and then your 1 chord to your 5. All right, so the first very basic idea would be to stay on your 5 chord for 2 bars. So you have your E7, another E7, and then, and by the way, when I do this little walk up, don't get thrown off. All that is just basically 1 to 5. So 1, 5. But I think it sounds good just to throw that in a lot of the time. Anyway, when I was studying blues songs last year, I was surprised how common these different variations are. I put together some courses, Your Blues Repertoire. Quick plug, one of the best ways to actually learn these things, get the blues into your fingers, into your ear, into your soul, is learning these classic blues songs. But anyway, like I was saying, I was surprised how common it is to, not do just the 5, 4, 1, but sometimes stay on the 5. Let's see. In the blues repertoire, there's another song called "Blues Ain't Nothing But a Woman Crying for Her Man," which is in the key of A flat. And the turnaround for that one that's going to go like your 5 dominant to your sharp 5. So E flat 7, E7, and then back again. Also, there's a song called "Ask Me No Questions" in that same course. It's a B.B. King song, which is really a departure from the whole 12-bar structure. But one cool idea is it's going from your 4 dominant to your sharp 5 dominant. And it goes on from there, but I thought that's kind of a cool idea. So going back to what I was saying about trying to make any chord work, let's see if I can come up with a progression where I'm kind of sticking to the basic 12-bar blues, but I'm going to throw in that 4 dominant to the sharp 5 dominant. So maybe something like this. Hey, real quick, before we continue here, I just want to give a quick plug for my free course. It's called 7 Blues Guitar Secrets That Save You Years of Practice. You can get it at BluesGuitar-Com/secrets, or just check the link in the video description. And I think it's got a lot of powerful insights and concepts that are going to help you out. They're going to help you with everything you're doing, including the stuff in this video. So once again, just check the link in the description. Thanks for your support, and now back to the video. All right, so let's break that down. The first 4 bars is pretty typical. One thing I did was go to my 4 chord early. That's called a quick 4. And I used a D9 instead of a D7. A7. Here's my D7, F7, and then I'm going to do this. So that's like half a bar of A7, half a bar of E7. You can throw in those little 1-5 changes kind of whenever you want. And then I did a 2-5 on the turnaround, which is another thing that surprised me when I was studying a lot of blues songs. You know, this 2-5 thing, which I kind of thought of as a jazz turnaround, but you'll see that a lot in blues. So the reason I did this quick 4 thing, this quick 1 to 5 change, was just, again, trying to fit it into like a 12 bar. Make it make sense. All right, so when we did that quick change from the 1 to the 5, we could also throw in like a diminished chord. Flat 5 diminished, that's like a good place to throw it in. Sort of off the topic of just dominant chord stuff, but let's just add as many tricks as we can here. So the whole thing will be like this now. There's diminished to my 2-5. Okay, another one of my favorite chords is the 6 dominant. So in the key of A, that'd be F sharp dominant. And a good place to use that is on bar 8, right before the turnaround. Let's try progression using that, and I'm also going to throw in a little twist on bar 6. So when we go to our 4 chord on bar 5, let's do 1 bar of the D7 and then 1 bar of D minor 7. Back to our 1, and then there's my 6th chord. So the whole thing will be like this. So one variation on that would be, instead of playing the 4 to the 4 minor, which is super cool. Love that. But what we could also do would be to go from the 4 dominant 7 to just the 3. So you just go down 1 half step there. So the whole progression would then be like this. Okay, so we just saw how we could go from our 4 dominant 7 to our 3 dominant 7. But let's see if we can find another way to work in our 3 third degree dominant 7. So like if we went from our 1 to our 3, has a very unique sound. It reminds me of the progression from the song "Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out," which kind of goes in a different direction than a regular 12-bar blues. So let's see if we can work this idea like 1 to 3 into more of a 12-bar structure. Maybe something like this. So I'm sort of inventing stuff here. This is not a progression that I've come across in any song, but it just kind of shows you, like, there's so many combinations, almost everything works. Like Yngwie says, if it sounds right, it's right. So what I'm doing here is A7, C sharp 7, and then an F sharp minor 7 to E7. So it's like 1, 3, 6 minor to 5, and then 4 minor, another 4 minor, 1 major to 1 dominant, and then my turnaround. So if I just go back a bar, that was just pure major chord to the dominant. Sometimes it helps to do that. Throwing in everything dominant can sound a little bit clunky sometimes. So sometimes it's good to just hit your major, and then it sort of has like a nice kind of mini resolution sound to it. Now the 3 chord you could also use as a minor. One way to do that would be on the turnaround, like maybe going from the 3 to the 2 to the 1, something like that. So let's just try that. All right, so let's just throw in 1 or 2 more ideas, and then we'll close out the lesson here. So we talked about the 6th chord. Like, on bar 8, we go to that chord, and then we do our turnaround. Then you can throw in another 1-6-2-5. So in jazz, like, the typical 1-6-2-5 is a common progression. When we're playing blues, we'll often modify it to use the dominant 6 and the minor 2. So you would end up with something like this. So that was a lot of chords there, but you're sort of repeating yourself. So let me just play it from the beginning. So you're 1. Those are the first 4 bars. You go to your 4 chord. Bar 7. Bar 8. 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. You can also throw in 1-6-2-5 where the 2 is also dominant. So it's another twist. So play around with all those ideas. I'll just give you one more idea, is that you can use the flat 9 degree, which is just 1 half step up. You hear that in the Allman Brothers version of Stormy Monday. Right there. So again, it's just like motion, you're going to be on the 1 for 2 bars or 8 beats. You can always throw in little progressions within progressions, ways to go back. Could have been that one or something. So don't be afraid to experiment, come up with your own progressions. Again, any chord could theoretically be a dominant chord in the blues. So, all right, there you have it, and we'll talk to you soon.